Shameless.
United in the Europa League, Europa League.
Not open training session, the media training session for Manchester United as the players are doing their rondos. There's no Rafael Varane, man. No Rafael Varane. I hope that is just for preparation purposes, precaution. Hopefully it's nothing too serious. Ronaldo's out there, he's training, he's happy. They're just going through their warm-ups as they get a little feel for the ball here at Carrington as we prepare for the match against Omonia. And look, it's one that we've got to win. There's no messing about. We've won away in Omonia. We've obviously won against Sharif, but as we know, if you don't win your games and you come second in this group, you've got to play in a playoff now against the teams who come down from the Champions League. That could be Inter Milan, AC Milan, it could be Juventus, it could be who else? Ajax are hovering around there as well. I don't know if we can get Spurs if they manage to finish third, but there's some real tough teams in there. Sevilla is another one, and we really want to be avoiding that, having to play extra games as well. So yeah, that's what's happening for now. We'll keep an eye on the players and see what else they're going to be getting up to. So us, the media, have finished up here at Carrington. Obviously, we only get the first 15 minutes of the training sessions for European nights. That is just UEFA protocol, what happens. The players are still being put through their paces. I did say there was no Rafael Varane in the training session that we saw. I don't know if you can see, you probably can't, but just through that little gap there underneath where it says United, I think I've seen him being put through his paces on his own. So hopefully it's more of a precaution thing, because he did come on against Everton the last couple of minutes. Vital header as well to stop Jordan Pickford getting on the end of it. Imagine that, an equaliser from Jordan Pickford late on. Wouldn't have wanted that. But I think there are some positive signs that he is on his own. Maybe it's just a precautionary thing. Probably won't play against Omonia. Let's get him fit and ready to go for Newcastle. And to be fair, in the presser, Eric Ten Hag, when given his updates on players, he didn't want to go into the Martial situation, but said basically he's not available. Said obviously the long-term injuries like Harry Maguire, Donny van der Beek, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, not available. But he didn't really say much about Rafa Varane. So hopefully that's because he's training by himself, precautionary, and we can get him going. Onto the game though. Look, I'm not going to dress this up. It's not a glamorous game, but it is a game that Manchester United need to take care of business. As we heard in the press conference earlier, and like I said to you guys just earlier on in this video, that if we want to come top of this group, we can't have any slip-ups up until we play Sociedad, and then we need to go to Sociedad and win. That's what's going to have to happen, unless Sociedad drop points, which I can't see that happening. An extra game against a tough opposition coming down from the Champions League is not what we're going to want, especially when we're trying to, fight for top four. The EFL Cup would have started by then. It's just not what you want in February, having to play extra games against a tough opposition just to get through to the knockout stages of the Europa League as well, may I add. So we've got to top this group. In terms of team rotation, the way I'm looking at it like tomorrow is this. We know that we can't make too many wholesale changes. Swapping a whole 11 just isn't on the cards for us right now. It doesn't matter who we're playing, with the greatest respect to Omonia. You saw what happened at home in our last Europa League game, which was against Sociedad. Obviously, we lost that day. Yes, the dodgy penalty, that shouldn't have been, but overall, we looked like we could have played a whole another 90 minutes in that game and still not scored. So we can't afford to be tweaking with it too much. I expect Cristiano Ronaldo to start. The front three is interesting because Jadon Sancho's been out of favour the last couple of games, and we were talking about this, weren't we? Does Jadon Sancho get back into it? Does he use this game, Eric Ten Hag, to give him some game time, to give him some minutes to try and re-find his form? I think he should. I think Rashford's been playing really well. He's been looking sharp since he's come back off injury. Yes, when he came off the bench against Omonia last week, and obviously in the game on the weekend against Everton was really good. But there's a tough test around the corner at Newcastle, and I think it's a chance for Jadon Sancho maybe to pick up some form and to get going again. Right hand side. Now look, Anthony's played every single game since he's come here. Does he persist with him? Does he go with maybe an Elanga on the right-hand side? Maybe switch it up a little bit? Or if he's going to play Rashford, excuse me, on the left, then does he play Sancho on the right? I'm not sure. There's something about Anthony, because he's new and you just want him to hit that form and find his rhythm. I kind of want him to play again. But against Omonia, we saw what Omonia had to offer in the first game. And, you know, although the game was 3-2, we dominated for large parts, and I think it should be a comfortable evening. Maybe give a little bit of a rest to Anthony, because you don't want anything silly happening. You know, we've got a really tough game against Newcastle. It's 5th against 6th. I think they're 6th. They're right on our heels. And we need to dispose of them, you know, and they travel well. They went to Liverpool, gave them a really good game. And we're unfortunate to get not get all 3 points. And they ended up losing with the extra time added on, but they gave them a flipping good game. You saw what Newcastle did at home to Manchester City. So I know I'm skipping forward a little bit, but it kind of feeds into this game, because it's a game that we have to take care of business of, but also have one eye on that huge game on Sunday against Newcastle. So I wouldn't mind resting Anthony. If I'm going into midfield, we know Scott McTominay can't play against Newcastle, picking up that yellow card against Everton. So that's understandable. He needs to probably play. But it is interesting to see what Erik Ten Hag will do in the middle. I mean, it was asked, I think, by Samuel Luckhurst about the importance of Christian Eriksen, about managing him, especially with with what happened to him in Copenhagen last year in the summer. And he's played every single game for us, literally every single one. And it's like, not every single minute, but every single game. Do you rest him? Because if he is so important to us. And do you want to risk him against Omonia at home when Casemiro's getting fit? You know, Fred's there now. I don't know. I would probably go to keep the quality up as well, because I understand that we're still not quite there yet. If we make too many changes, the whole fluidity of the team will just be off. And I know you should say it doesn't matter who we kind of put out there, it should be good enough to beat Omonia. We've seen that just isn't the case. You know, pretty much with our best team against Omonia, we still managed to find ourselves coming away from there with a 3-2 win, and in the last sort of 10 minutes couldn't put the game to bed and still gave them opportunities. So I want to avoid that, and I think Ten Hag will want to avoid that as well. So maybe go Bruno for one half and Eriksen for the other half, like we did at home to Sociedad. I think that would probably be adequate. I don't think, again, Donny van der Beek's not fit, so it's not like you can give him game time. And even if he was fit, he's been brought out with cold. So I would probably go with Eriksen/Bruno, half and half, or 60 minutes, one of them comes off. And in midfield, I would go McTominay, and I'd probably go Fred. I mean, it'd be nice maybe for Casemiro to keep ticking along, but again, there's a game just round the corner against a tough Newcastle side. But if Casemiro was to play 2 games, fine. But I think he might go McTominay, Fred, and then Eriksen or Bruno. Back 4, look, Varane, like I said, is training over there by himself. So that would suggest to me that he's not training with the group, would mean he's not going to play tomorrow. So I would probably, you're going to have to go Lindelof and Martinez, because there's no other centre-halves. Harry Maguire's still out. I would put Malacia in. At left back for this game. Get him going. Give him a little bit of confidence after being taken off in consecutive games at half-time. Not good for him. So he would probably want to refocus himself, and it'll be a good night to do that under the lights against Omonia, where we're going to dominate possession once again and should come out on top, and he's going to see a lot of the ball. So he should be able to get a good run out. And right back, again, we touched on it, or somebody touched on it in the presser, about Diogo Dalot and the fact that, we haven't really got much else there. But Erik Ten Hag was quick to allude to the fact that Victor Lindelof beside him can play right back, and he also said Tyrell Malacia can play right back as well. So should we need that to happen and Dalot need a rest, maybe we might see Luke Shaw left back and Malacia right back. But I think that's quite a big stretch to go to have to put a Luke Shaw in this game. So I would probably just go with Dalot, and if he needs to come off and have a little bit of a rest, again, if Malacia doesn't start the game, you can switch it around and put him at right back as well. And obviously David De Gea will probably be in goal. So that's the match preview. One, like I said, these are the games where you just need to take care of business. It's kind of what we thought Real Sociedad would be, which was the hardest game in the group. But now we know what Omonia are about. We saw it last week. We know that if we give them a chance on the counter, they're capable of scoring. We saw that. If we make mistakes against them, they're capable of scoring. We saw that. But also what we saw is if we play anywhere near towards our best level, we should be able to dispatch of them properly and efficiently. We need to be clinical tomorrow and get it absolutely done. So hopefully we do that. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Remember, you can join the UV Members Club. Link is in the video description below. I'm out of here. Peace.